Behaviour just dropped a whole host of changes in the PTB, and today I want to focus on one that's causing a lot of buzz and a lot of concern: the new anti-tunneling system. Now, before I dive into my thoughts, I want to give you some context about where I'm coming from. I play both sides of Dead by Daylight, Killer and Survivor, with P100s on both sides. So I know exactly what it's like to be the survivor getting tunneled, and also what it's like to try to pressure survivors as a killer without feeling like you're being punished for playing efficiently. I'm not here to take sides. I'm here to analyse this system from a player's perspective and give you the breakdown of why it's extremely problematic. But first, if you aren't aware of the new anti-tunneling system, I'm about to post a picture on this video. Take the opportunity to pause the video and have a read. I also want to hear from you guys. After watching, drop a comment with your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm overreacting? And if you like content like this, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future deep dives and Dead by Daylight analysis. With that out of the way, let's break down why this new anti-tunneling system is so problematic and why it really shouldn't make it past the PTB. The 6-hook problem. The first big problem is how the system handles survivors who die before 6 hooks. If someone gets eliminated too early, the killer instantly loses access to generator aggression and blocking. Now here's the thing, that automatically assumes the killer must have been tunneling, but that is just not true. Survivors can die before 6 hooks for a whole bunch of reasons that have nothing to do with tunneling. Maybe they got unlucky with spawns, maybe they ran into dead zones, maybe their teammates didn't trade hooks, or maybe, just maybe, they played poorly. Here's a very simple example. I, the killer, hook survivor A. Then I chase and hook survivor B. Then I hook survivor C. Later on, I just happen to run into survivor A again. They're out of position, I down them, and eventually they die, perhaps because their teammates didn't unhook them. That's not tunneling, that's just natural rotation. But under this system, because survivor A died too quickly, the game treats it as tunneling and punishes me. I suddenly lose access to my core killer tools, even though I wasn't tunneling at all. That's the flaw here. The system punishes killers for being efficient, for capitalizing on survivor mistakes, or even just for normal gameplay flow, and that is completely unfair. Point 2. Killers are handcuffed. This system also forces killers into a passive playstyle. If I play aggressively and pressure survivors efficiently, I risk triggering all these buffs and losing my gen control. But if I slow down to avoid these punishments, I'm sabotaging my own win condition. So now killers aren't really playing their own game anymore. They're playing around behavior system. That's not how asymmetrical balance should work. The killer role is supposed to be about pressure and control, but this system strips that away the moment you start playing too well. Point 3. It invalidates existing perks. Let's not forget, survivors already have anti-tunnel perks: Decisive Strike, Off the Record, Borrowed Time. These perks exist specifically to give survivors a second chance. But with this new system, those perks basically become irrelevant. Why would you run Decisive Strike when the game is already handing you something stronger for free? What exactly? Well, now, survivors gain more endurance, haste, they have no collision, and even immunity to killer instinct, all stacked together. It's basically a full kit of second chances. It completely invalidates perks that people have grinded for or even bought DLC to get. It also reshaped the entire survivor meta overnight, not because players discovered something new, but because behavior decided to hardcode those perks into the game. And for my final point, and this is probably the most important one, it doesn't fix tunneling. Simply, if a killer wants to tunnel, they still can. They just burn through the endurance, keep chasing, and eventually secure the kill anyway. So what did this system actually achieve? Nothing. It's just shifted the frustration away from survivors and dumped it onto killers without addressing the real issue. And the real issue, in my opinion, is that behavior are trying to balance a game that is unbalanceable. It is a 1v4 survival horror game. It is never going to be 50-50 every time you get into a match. There are so many variables, and honestly, that's always been the appeal to me. There's too much micromanaging going on for my liking. So here's my take. Tunneling is frustrating, there is no doubt about it, but this system is not the solution. It punishes killers unfairly, it hands survivors unearned advantages, it invalidates perks, and it still doesn't stop tunneling. If this goes live after the PTB, I think it could seriously break the core of Dead by Daylight. Killers will ironically feel powerless. Survivors won't feel rewarded, and the whole community is just going to continue to get more frustrated. What Behaviour should be doing, in my opinion, is incentivizing healthy gameplay, not punishing killers for being efficient and not spoon-feeding survivors free wins. But that's just my opinion. Now, I want to hear yours. What do you think about this new anti-tunneling system? Drop a comment below, let's talk about it. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want more Dead by Daylight content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.